My child, quiet your heart now, that you may hear the words I speak to you today. There is something very important I need you to recognize, though I know it may cause you to wrestle within. But because of my love for you, because of the protection I desire to place upon your life, I cannot allow you to continue forward in innocence, unaware of what is happening around you. There are people, relationships that you are holding on to with all sincerity, yet behind them lie things far less pure than you have believed. I have watched, I have seen clearly, and now is the time for me to open your eyes. My child, you have lived with an upright heart. I see this. You have not pretended. You have not sought selfish gain. You have loved with a wholehearted heart, without calculation. I know every prayer you have whispered on lonely nights. I have heard every sigh you have hidden in the silence. I see how many times you have forgiven, how patiently you have waited, hoping that your kindness would soften hardened hearts. Yet not everyone values the light within you. Not every heart knows how to respond to grace with sincerity. There are some you still consider close, still believe to be friends, yet they do not look upon you with pure eyes. They do not approach you with genuine love. They are drawn to the purity within you, not to preserve it, but to exploit it. They draw near not to build, but to pull you into cycles without escape. And because you love me, because you love people, you have found it hard to close your heart. But hear me, child, an open heart does not mean leaving yourself vulnerable to manipulation. I did not create you to be a vessel for the sowing of false words. I did not place my love within you so you might become a source to those who only know how to take, but not to give. These individuals know how to soften your heart. They know how to use sweet words, affectionate gestures to keep you bound. But deep within, there is no truth in them. They do not see you as I see you. They do not honor the true worth within you. What they seek is not a deep connection, but personal gain, invisible control. Can you feel it? The times you have walked away with a heavy heart? The moments you forced a smile, though inwardly confused? The times you asked yourself, why is my kindness not met with sincerity, my child? It is because you have been trying to preserve what is not worthy of being kept. True love does not exhaust your soul. True friendship does not require you to sacrifice your very self to keep others close. I have not called you to lose yourself in exchange for fleeting attention. There are those who draw near to you because they sense the light within you. But instead of allowing that light to inspire them toward change, they seek to possess it, to control it, to dim it until you forget who you are. They will say they need you. They will make it seem as though you are the only one who understands them. But in truth, they are only clinging to you to fill the emptiness within themselves. Emptiness they refuse to face. And when you are depleted, when you no longer give them what they desire, they will turn away without a shred of compassion. My child, I know you fear loneliness. I know you long for a genuine connection. But hear me, a connection not built on truth will only wound you. Relationships rooted in manipulation will erode your soul. And I love you too much to allow you to remain in such cycles. I want you to be free. I want you to be healed. I want you to know that you are worthy of pure love, of holy companionship, the very thing I am preparing for you. If you are willing to release what is not from me, do not let sweet words cloud your discernment. Do not let the fear of losing a relationship keep you bound to a place that no longer belongs to you. Remember this, you are not at fault for having loved. You are not at fault for having hoped, but now is the time for you to awaken. Now is the time for you to rise. Now is the time for you to choose truth over illusion. You were not born to be someone's temporary option. You are my beloved child, wonderfully made, destined for things far greater than this. My child, I know that stepping away from what is familiar is never easy. But remember this: when you choose to walk away from what does not come from me, you are making room for me to do something new in your life. You think you are losing, but in truth, you are being set free. You think you are letting go, but in reality, you are reclaiming your worth. And I, the one who loves you with an everlasting love, will walk with you every step of the way. Be courageous. Be steadfast. For what I have prepared for you far surpasses anything you have ever held on to. My child, there is one more thing I want you to truly understand today. In every step you take, in every relationship you build, I am never absent. I am the one who sees into the very depths of every heart, the things unseen by human eyes, the motives hidden behind smiles and soothing words. All these are laid bare before me. And because I love you, I must warn you so that you do not sink deeper into the bonds that are slowly suffocating your soul. They do not love you the way you think. What they show is only a mask. And I do not want you to be imprisoned by falsehoods. I know you have often asked yourself why you feel so weary after certain conversations, why your heart feels heavy after striving to connect. Let me tell you, it is because your soul is being drained by the lack of sincerity in others. They do not come to you to uplift, but to feed their own egos. They need you around, not out of love, but because you make them feel important. They manipulate your emotions with unfulfilled promises, with closeness when it suits them, and with distance when you need them most. You have waited for change from them, but what you are waiting for will not come. I tell you plainly, because such a change is not within their hearts. True love does not make you feel small. True friendship does not make you doubt yourself. If after every encounter you are left questioning whether you are enough, or wondering if you have done something wrong, then that is not a relationship from me. I did not create you to continually sacrifice your well-being just to keep someone by your side. If a relationship demands that you surrender your inner peace, it is not something I have called you to maintain. There are some who know exactly how to touch the deepest longings of your heart. They read your loneliness. They understand your unspoken desires. But instead of leading you to me, they pull you toward themselves, making you dependent on their approval. They do not merely toy with your emotions. They seek to control your very thoughts. This is why you feel confused. This is why you no longer recognize yourself. They are little by little dimming the light that I placed within you. Do you remember how pure your love was in the beginning? You came to them with an open heart, genuinely longing to connect, to be understood, to be loved. But over time, you found yourself withdrawing. You began to doubt your own worth. You felt that you were no longer joyful enough, interesting enough, lovable enough. You blamed yourself when they grew cold. You tried to do more, to give more, hoping to receive just a fraction of the warmth they once offered. But my child, the truth is this: there is nothing wrong with you. The fault does not lie with you, but with the lack of sincerity in their heart. My child, I do not want you to continue walking in that same cycle anymore. I do not want you to build your life upon shaky foundations. If a relationship causes you to lose your inner freedom more and more, then it is not something I have given you. I have called you to walk in the freedom of my children, unbound by control, not manipulated by empty promises. You are the one I love, and that love will never require you to lose yourself. Perhaps you are thinking, if I leave, who will understand me? Who will walk with me? Who will listen to the depths of my heart? But my child, you do not need to trade the wholeness of your soul just to hold on to a fragile connection. I am the one who understands you better than anyone else. I know every unspoken thought. I know every tear you have hidden. And I am the one who will never abandon you. When you choose to let go of what is not from me, you do not fall into emptiness. You open your heart to be filled by me with relationships that are holier, healthier, and reflective of my true love. Let me restore you. Let me heal the parts of you that have been wounded by deception. Let me remind you of who you are in me. You do not need to do anything to be worthy of my love. You do not need to become some other version of yourself to be accepted by me. You are fully loved, fully accepted, simply because you are my child. Stand up, lift your head high, and step out of the places that dim your light. I am with you, and I will lead you to new doors where you can live and love without fear, without self-doubt. I know that in these past days, you have tried so hard to maintain that relationship. You have restrained your heart. You have accepted things you should not have endured. Deep within, you still held a fragile hope that one day they would recognize your sincerity, that they would change and treat you as you truly deserve. But today, my child, I speak this truth to you. When a heart does not choose to walk in truth, when their motives are no longer pure, it is not your love or kindness that can change them. Only my intervention can do that. And if I am now telling you to step away, it is because I know they are not ready to walk with you on the path I am opening. You have made many excuses for them. You have told yourself that perhaps they too have their own wounds, that maybe they are going through a difficult time, that perhaps they do not mean to hurt you. But my child, mercy does not mean wounding yourself. Kindness does not mean accepting emotional abuse. You do not need to sacrifice your inner peace to prove to someone how much you love them. If they cannot see your worth even when you have given your all, then they are not the person I am calling you to keep close. Remember, my love for you does not place conditions upon the unhealed wounds of others. I do not teach you to endlessly endure wrong behavior in the name of kindness. I teach you to love yourself with humility, to honor the value I have placed within you. When you choose to remain in a toxic relationship, you allow someone else to define you by their own lack, not by the wholeness I have given you. And if this continues, it will gradually blur your own image of yourself in your own eyes. My child, I have seen the times when you forced a smile while your heart was bleeding. I have seen the times when you typed out messages, only to delete them, unsure if you had the right to speak up about your own pain. I have seen you waiting for every reply, every small gesture, as though their acknowledgement could define your worth. But my child, that is not the truth. Your worth does not come from anyone's attention. It comes from the fact that you are my child, wonderfully made, unconditionally loved. Do not let insincere words make you doubt yourself. Do not let ambiguous actions cause you to question your own worth. A love that comes from me will never ask you to trade your inner peace for fleeting warmth. It will not cause you to constantly question whether you are doing enough. It will not make you afraid to express your true feelings. The love that comes from me brings freedom, understanding, support, and encouragement for you to become the fullest version of yourself. You may fear that letting go will mean losing everything. But my child, there are things that, once lost, truly become your liberation. Some doors close to protect you from deeper wounds. And when you dare to release what does not belong to you, you are making room for me to bring better things into your life. Do not think you will remain alone if you walk away from that relationship. I have prepared people who are ready to enter your life, people who will not require you to shrink yourself to make them comfortable, people who will see your true value and love you sincerely. Listen to my words. It is time for you to reclaim authority over your own heart. It is time to say no to manipulation and emotional exploitation. It is time to step out of emotional whirlpools that are draining you. And you will not walk out alone. I am with you. I will take your hand and walk you through each step. There will be days when you feel lost, but in those very days, you will sense my nearness more than ever before. Do you know, sometimes I allow these things to happen not because I am silent, but because I want you to learn to discern what is from me and what is not. I want you to grow in wisdom and learn to guard your heart from what is impure. And my child, I rejoice that today you have opened your heart to listen to me. Do not be afraid. Once you choose to follow my guidance, better doors will open, the right people will come, and you will step into a new season where your soul will be healed, renewed, and will shine as you were created to be. My child, as you begin to step away from things that no longer align with your journey, there will be moments when you feel unsteady between the old space and the new ground not yet fully revealed. I know that feeling can bring confusion. You may look back and long for what was familiar, even though it never brought you true peace. You may feel unsettled when you do not yet see the goodness I have promised. But my child, do not let temporary emptiness cause you to doubt my hand. Sometimes, I must clear the ground before sowing new seeds. There are relationships, habits, and thoughts that have taken root in your soul without you realizing they no longer bring life. But because they are familiar, you still hold on to them. And when I begin to remove them, you may feel a sense of loss. But trust that this process is necessary, just as a gardener must prune dead branches so that the tree can continue to grow. I am doing the same in your life, not to hurt you, but so that you may blossom and bear fruit as I have intended. Let me teach you how to walk in true freedom. Freedom does not mean the absence of boundaries, but living in uprightness and peace, no longer bound by things that distort your soul. When you release toxic relationships, you are choosing to live in truth, and the truth will set you free. You may feel alone for a time, but my child, solitude, in truth, is far more beautiful than being surrounded by falsehoods. I would rather you walk alone with me than be swept along by currents that are not of me. There may still be questions lingering in your heart. Was it all truly false? Were the moments that once brought you joy, the words that once moved you, not real at all? My child, not everything was false. There were moments that arose from the goodness that still remained in a person's heart. Yet, the deeper motives, those you cannot see. But I can, and it is these motives that ultimately guide how one chooses to treat you. If I see that they are impure, I will not allow you to continue building your life upon such a foundation. no matter how beautiful the surface may appear. If the roots are unhealthy, the tree will surely fall. My child, do not let beautiful memories hold you captive in a reality that is no longer good for you. A memory is simply a memory. It has no power to dictate your future. I want you to live fully in the present and to look forward to what I am opening before you. Each day, I bestow upon you new grace and fresh opportunities. Do not waste today's grace by clinging to regrets of the past. I do not reject the beautiful moments you once experienced, but I am calling you to release that which no longer serves your journey. There are people whose role in your life has been completed. To let them go does not mean denying the goodness that once was. It simply means accepting that their season has come to an end. You will see that when you dare to step forward, when you embrace the changing of seasons, I will renew your soul. I will grant you clarity to discern what to keep and what to release. And as you draw deeper into my presence, you will increasingly realize that you are not lacking as you once believed. What you truly need is not the attention of others, but the affirmation that comes from me. And once you receive this, you will no longer be swayed by anyone's presence or absence. I am not asking you to close your heart to everyone, but I do want you to walk in wisdom, love without losing discernment. Open your heart, but remain watchful. Give generously, yet do not allow yourself to be used. The love that comes from me is a love with healthy boundaries, love that knows when to say yes and when to say no. I do not desire for you to become naive in relationships, for that would leave you vulnerable and easily drawn away from your purpose. I am calling you to be strong in love, steadfast in truth, and tender in mercy. Believe that I am preparing the way for you. What I have in store will not come through haste. It will arrive in the time I have appointed, and as you walk with me, you will come to see that waiting in my presence is always worth it. The relationships I will bring into your life in the new season will not require you to sacrifice your integrity. They will be relationships that are healthy, that nourish your soul, and help you grow in grace and truth. So do not fear the temporary emptiness. Do not fear the days when no one stands beside you. This is the season in which I am purifying your life. Use this time to draw nearer to me. Let me heal the old wounds. Let me renew your mind and your heart. And when the new season arrives, you will enter it as one who has been restored, no longer bound by the things of the past, but free to love, to live, and to shine as you were created to do from the very beginning. My child, I know there is a struggle within you. A part of you knows it is time to let go. Yet another part hesitates to leave behind what feels familiar. You fear that when this door finally closes, the emptiness in your heart will become too vast, and that you will not know how to move forward. But my child, I tell you truly, the emptiness you fear is not a meaningless void, but a space I am opening to renew your life. If you do not dare to release the old, how can I possibly fill you with what is new? Remember this, my child, a vessel filled with sediment cannot hold clear water. In the same way, a soul bound by unhealthy attachments cannot fully receive the abundant grace I long to pour out upon you. Therefore, letting go is not a loss, but an act of faith, a declaration that you trust in me more than you cling to what you once knew. And when you take this step, you will be amazed at the newness I will bring. You may think that you need to wait until you are completely ready before you can release your grip. But my child, readiness does not come from feelings, it comes from a decision. If you wait until your heart no longer lingers, you may remain in a place of indecision, neither moving forward nor backward. I have not called you to live in such a place of limbo. I have called you to walk resolutely in truth. And as you do, your emotions will gradually be healed in the process. Do not be afraid that in letting go, you will lose a part of yourself. In truth, you will find yourself again. For when you are entangled in an unhealthy relationship, you slowly lose your inner freedom. You allow the words and actions of others to shape how you see yourself. You trade your inner peace for an outward connection. But now, I am calling you back to yourself, not the self that has been distorted by painful experiences, but the self I created, strong, free, and full of grace. Know this, my child, when you choose to walk in truth, you are not only doing good for yourself, but you are also paving the way for others. Many are watching you. Though you may not realize it, they too are caught in emotional whirlpools, just as you once were. When they see you rise, when they see you step out, when they see you choose truth over illusion, they will be encouraged. They will realize that they too can make that choice. Therefore, your obedience is not only for your own sake, but is part of a greater plan I am unfolding. My beloved child, do you know why the enemy always tries to keep you bound in wrong relationships? Because he knows that if you are free, the light within you will shine brightly. If you are healed, you will become an effective instrument in my hands. So he employs every tactic: torment, regret, fear to keep you captive. But my child, I have overcome the world. I have triumphed over all darkness, and that same power is within you. You do not need to be afraid. You no longer need to let invisible chains hold you back. Rise up in my name. Declare your freedom in me, and take that step forward even if your first steps feel shaky. I will firmly hold your hand. I also know you fear that if you leave, the other person may be hurt, angry, or may blame you. But my child, each person is responsible for their own choices. You are not responsible to stay in order to save someone who is refusing to change. You are not obligated to sacrifice yourself to ease another's insecurity. I am the Redeemer. I alone can change hearts. Your role is to obey me and walk in truth. Leave the rest to me. Let me handle what you cannot. You need only remain faithful to the call within your heart. My child, I say this to you. When you courageously let go of the old, it is not only your spirit that will be set free, but new doors will also open before you. Healthy relationships, people who carry my spirit, communities where you can truly be yourself, all of these I have already prepared for you. But they cannot come while you are still holding on to what is past. A new season stands before you, and I long to lead you into it. Trust me. Step forward, and you will see how faithful I am in your life. My child, there is one more thing I want you to understand deeply in your heart. When I call you out of an unhealthy relationship, it is not to punish you, nor to make you feel like a failure. On the contrary, it is the action of a loving Father who desires for you to walk in the wholeness I prepared for you even before you were formed in your mother's womb. For I know well the potential I have placed within you. I know the mission you are destined to fulfill, and I know that unhealthy ties will hinder, even distort, that growth. So when I ask you to release them, it is because I am clearing the way for your restoration, for a new rising in your life. You have asked me in your heart, but Lord, why must I go through this? Why did I have to love someone who was unworthy? Why must I endure such wounds? My child, I hear every word you whisper, every unspoken tear you shed. And I tell you truly, these experiences are not wasted. They are part of the process I am using to refine you. Just as gold must pass through fire to become pure, so is your soul being cleansed, strengthened, and sharpened through these trials. Not a single tear you have shed is in vain. I have gathered each one in my bottle. There are lessons that can only be learned when a heart has been broken. There are depths of compassion and kindness that can only be reached through pain. And through it all, I am building within you a person who loves deeply but not blindly, who discerns without becoming hard, who gives without losing themselves. This is a mature love, one that reflects my own love, full of grace and full of truth. My child, I know you once believed that if you tried harder, were more patient, loved more, perhaps the other person would change. But child, true change does not come through your effort. It can only come when that person opens their heart to the work of the Holy Spirit. Your role is not to be the Redeemer. Your role is to walk in obedience. When I show you that a relationship has reached its end, that is the time to let go. Not because you haven't done enough, but because you already have. And now, the remaining work is mine, not yours. You may fear that when you let go, that person will blame you, saying you lack patience or love. But my child, you do not need to defend yourself. I am your advocate. I am the one who sees the entire story from what was spoken to what remained hidden. You do not need to prove your innocence before others. I have seen it all, and I will bring everything to light in its time. What matters most is that you guard your heart from bitterness. No matter what that person may do or say after you walk away, choose to forgive, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve freedom. Forgiveness is not agreeing with what was wrong, but refusing to let that wrong continue to control your life. When you forgive, you break the power of those wounds over your soul. You make way for deep healing from me. And my child, that healing is ready for you. I also want you to know that the season of loneliness after letting go is not a punishment, but a sacred time. It is when I will teach you things that you could not hear clearly while under the influence of that old relationship. I will speak to you in the stillness. I will restore your trust. I will give you new eyes to see yourself as I see you, not through the lens of the one who hurt you, but through the truth of who you are in me. When you are healed, when your roots are deeply planted in my unchanging love, you will be ready to step into healthier relationships that will not cause you to shrink back, nor require you to change your good nature in order to be accepted. Relationships where you can be your true self, fully loved and fully able to love in return. My child, trust me, the best is yet to come. Do not let what you have endured define you. Do not let the pain of a past season make you doubt my love or your own worth. You are not a failure because you loved. You are not lesser because you once hoped. On the contrary, the tenderness within you is proof that my Holy Spirit is at work in your life, and I will continue that work until it is complete. I know your heart is still filled with many tangled emotions. At times, you feel relieved to have escaped the exhausting whirlwind of old emotions. Yet at other times, loneliness comes crashing in like an unexpected wave. You ask yourself, Lord, can I truly overcome this? Am I strong enough not to turn back, my beloved child? I tell you the truth. You do not need to rely on your own strength. It is I who will uphold you. It is I who will steady your feet upon this new path. I know that when you walk away from something that was once deeply intertwined with your life, the sense of emptiness is hard to avoid. It is like a patch of soil left bare after an old tree has been uprooted, appearing dry and barren. But my child, it is precisely within this emptiness that I am preparing new ground. Do not hastily fill it with shallow things in an attempt to cover temporary loneliness. Be patient. Allow me to tend to this soil, to soften your heart. Let me sow good seeds, their healthy relationships, new dreams that come from me, and in due time, they will sprout and flourish beyond anything you can imagine. In this season, the most important thing is that you relearn how to be alone with me, not in isolation, but in deep companionship between you and me. Here, in these quiet moments, untouched by other voices, I will speak to you more clearly than ever before. I will remind you of your true identity, that you are my beloved, chosen, set apart not because you have earned it, but because I ordained it before the foundation of the world. You will come to see that when you are no longer caught up in old concerns, your mind will become clearer. The things that once confused you, I will now reveal their true nature. You will understand why I had to prune, why certain people, though once important to you, are no longer meant to be part of your journey ahead, and you will feel your heart grow lighter, no longer bitter, no longer regretful, but filled instead with a deep peace. My child, the enemy may try to whisper in your ear that you have lost too much, that you will never regain what was lost. But I tell you the truth, the enemy is a liar. What you think you have lost is, in reality, what I have removed to make room for something better. I am the restorer. I am the one who can repay the years the locusts have eaten many times over. And as you continue walking with me, you will see that no loss in me is ever wasted. Every tear you have shed, I will turn into songs of praise. Every pain you have endured, I will transform into new strength within you. You may also face misunderstanding from those around you. Some will not understand why you chose to step away. Some will blame you, thinking that you are too rigid or too resolute. But my child, I have not called you to please everyone. I have called you to obey me first and foremost. Such obedience may not be praised by the world, but in heaven, it is a fragrance pleasing to me. Do not let the words of others cause you to falter. I see your heart. I know how you have fought to stand firm in your decision, and I am pleased with you. My beloved child, I say this to you. There is no need to rush into a new relationship just to fill the void. This is a season for your restoration. Let me deepen your identity in me. Let me build within you a foundation stronger than ever before. And when you stand firm in me, those whom I bring into your life in the new season will not shake you. You will no longer seek your worth in them, for you will already know your worth in me. And from that place of security, you will love freely without fear, without dependence. Know this, my child, I love you deeply. That love does not change based on whether you do right or wrong. It does not waver with your successes or failures. It is an everlasting love, and it is this very love that will sustain you through every season. Even when your heart feels weak, I remain faithful. Even when you doubt, you remain unchanging. Hold tightly to me. Let me be your safest refuge. And from that place, you will be renewed in strength, soaring like the eagle, not by your own might, but by my power. In this new season, the most important thing is that you learn to walk with a renewed mind. For if you continue to hold on to old thought patterns, distorted perspectives, shaped by past wounds, you will easily fall back into the very cycles from which I have just delivered you. This is why I say to you, allow me to renew your mind daily. Let my word, which is truth, shape the way you see yourself, the way you see others, and the way you view your future. I know that during the days you were still in the former relationship, many hurtful words left deep imprints on your heart. At times, you wondered if you were truly good enough. Sometimes you doubted whether you were worthy of being loved in a healthy way. But my child, that is not my voice. Those are the whispers of the enemy, who seeks to make you forget your true identity. I tell you the truth. You are my marvelous creation. You were crafted with care. Every part of you reflects my wisdom and love. No judgment from man can diminish that value. Therefore, begin again with a mind cleansed by truth. When the old words echo in your mind, replace them with my word. When insecurity rises, remind yourself that you are unconditionally loved. When fear seeks to bind you, stand firm in my promise that I have not given you a spirit of fear, but a spirit of power, love, and sound mind. These are the very weapons for you to walk in true freedom. My child, I want to teach you the value of patience in the healing process. You may wish that once you let go of the old relationship, all the wounds would instantly vanish. But my child, healing is a journey. Just as wounds on the body need time to regenerate new skin, the wounds of the soul also require patience and hope. Every day you spend in my presence, every time you allow my word to soak deeply into your heart, you are drawing nearer to complete restoration. Do not be quick to lose heart when you find your spirit weighed down on certain days. This is not failure. It is a natural part of the process. Old memories may suddenly resurface. But remember this, memories have no power to rule over you. You are no longer bound to the past. You are walking on a new journey with me. Keep moving forward. Even if with small steps, know that every step taken in obedience holds great value before me. I see your efforts. I take note of every time you choose forgiveness over resentment, trust over surrendering to fear. During this time, I also invite you to learn once again how to delight in yourself. When you were in an unhealthy relationship, you became accustomed to seeing your worth through the eyes of others. Now, I want you to learn to see your worth through my eyes. Find joy in the small things of daily life. Allow yourself to rediscover the hobbies and passions that were once forgotten. Let me rekindle within you the joy of living that is not dependent on external approval. As you learn this, you will become truly free. You will no longer be caught in the endless cycle of seeking acceptance. You will walk with an inner confidence, one that is rooted in knowing who you are in me. And from this foundation, you will build new relationships not out of a place of needing others to fill a void, but from a place of being already full in me. My child, I also say this to you, the closer you draw to me, the more sensitive you will become to the leading of the Holy Spirit. You will more quickly discern when a relationship begins to show unhealthy signs. You will know how to set healthy boundaries without feeling guilty, because you understand that guarding a pure heart is pleasing to me. You will no longer have to sacrifice inner peace just to maintain outward harmony. You will know how to say no when needed, with wisdom and love. And, my child, one day when you look back on this journey, your heart will be filled with gratitude. You will see that it was in this season, which once seemed the hardest, that I deepened the relationship between you and me. You will realize that what you once thought you had lost was, in fact, a release that allowed you to step into something far better, and you will rejoice that you chose to obey me, even when it was difficult at first. My child, now that you have walked deeper into this healing journey, I want you to understand that this season is not just a time for recovery, but also a time for reshaping. There are many things in how you view yourself, in your dreams, and in your expectations that I desire to adjust. It is not wrong that you have dreamed, but some of those dreams were built upon the foundation of past wounds. Some desires did not arise from true freedom, but from the need to be accepted, from the fear of abandonment. And now, I invite you to release those things, so that I may sow into your heart new dream-pure visions aligned with my will. You may ask me, Lord, if what I once longed for was not from you, does that mean I have walked the wrong path all these years? My child, do not let sin or shame weigh you down. I did not come to condemn you. I came to restore you. The years behind you were not wasted. Through every experience, joyful or sorrowful, I have been shaping you. I have been leading you ever closer to the image I designed for you from the very beginning. Nothing is wasted in my hands. Even the missteps can become tools for your good. Now, as I am cleansing away the dust of the past, I am also inviting you to open your heart to new creativity. Do not think that the journey ahead is merely about repairing what is old. I am not just patching up the torn pieces. I am making all things new. I am the Creator, and I delight in bringing forth new things in your life. Things you have never thought of. Doors you have never imagined. I can open them for you. But to receive them, you must let go of your attachment to what is past. Do not be afraid when I lead you out of your old comfort zones. The relationships you once considered a safe harbor may no longer be suitable for where you are going. The habits, the lifestyle, even the way you once saw yourself, I desire to renew all of it. And though this may cause you to feel unsteady for a time, trust me, this temporary uncertainty is a small price to pay for a life of true freedom in me. There is one more thing I want you to remember as you step into the new season. Do not rush to redefine yourself based on the rejection of others. There will be those who, upon seeing your transformation, upon realizing they can no longer control you, will attempt to make you doubt yourself. They may come back and accuse you, saying you have changed for the worse, that you have become cold, no longer loving as you once were. But my child, you know your own heart. You know that this change is the fruit of your growth and maturity. You no longer tolerate what is toxic. You no longer trade your inner peace for false acceptance. Remember, true love does not enable what is wrong. The love that comes from me is a love that knows how to set boundaries. It is a love rooted in truth. It is a love that does not blur your identity. So when you choose to say no to things that are not from me, it is not because you love less, but because you love yourself and love me enough to walk in the truth. My child, on this journey, there will also be times when you face the fear of being misunderstood. But I tell you this, you do not need to strive to make everyone understand you. There are some who cannot comprehend the path you are walking, for I have not revealed to them what I am doing within you. Learn to rest even when misunderstood. Let me be the one who defends you. Do not let the need for everyone's approval become a burden to you. If you constantly chase after pleasing people, you will soon be exhausted. I have not called you to a life of exhaustion. I have called you to rest in me. And my child, do not be afraid if, in this season, I cause your circle of relationships to become smaller. Not everyone is meant to journey with you to the end. There are some who are only meant to accompany you for a season. When their season ends, release them with grace. Do not hold on out of fear of loneliness. It is better for you to walk with me alone than to walk with those who are not aligned with me. And in due time, I will bring new relationships, those who are like-minded, those who share your heart and vision, those who will lift you up, not pull you down. My beloved, as you continue to walk forward in this new season that I am leading you into, I want you to understand that this is also a season where I am training your vision to be higher. The things you once hoped for in the past, the limitations you once placed upon yourself, I now desire to break all of them, not to leave you floundering, but to bring you into true freedom. For I am the one who has destined you for a life that is not bound by fear, by the approval of man, or by past experiences. I have destined you for a life that reflects my glory. But in order for you to step into that vision, the first thing you must learn is to let go of the old lenses. For many years, you have learned to see yourself through the eyes of others, through their praise or criticism, through their acceptance or rejection. You have allowed those glances to define your worth. But my child, this is not the way I desire you to live. You must relearn how to see yourself through my eyes, the eyes of the one who loved you before you were formed in your mother's womb. Eyes that never change, that never compare you to others, that never require you to do anything in order to be loved. Remember, it is written in Scripture, the Lord does not look at the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. Achat Samuel 16:ba. I see your heart. I know the deepest things within you, things you have never dared to speak. And I tell you this truth, you are precious in my sight, not because you are perfect, not because you are without weakness, but because you are my child, created in my image, bearing within you an eternal essence that this world can never steal. Therefore, it is time for you to learn to stand firmly upon this truth, no longer leaning on the approval of others, no longer allowing old judgments to bind your mind. I am making you new, and when you stand strong in this true identity, you will no longer be easily drawn into unhealthy relationships. You will no longer accept devaluing treatment. You will no longer allow yourself to be manipulated by sweet words that lack the foundation of truth. My beloved, once you know who you are in me, you will walk with a confidence that is not boastful, but steady. You will no longer feel the need to prove anything to anyone. You will no longer sacrifice your inner peace just to be accepted by a certain group. Instead, you will live in the freedom that I give, a freedom that allows you to love without fear of being used, to give without fear of being depleted, to build relationships rooted in truth and grace. My child, I also remind you of this. As you begin to walk with this new vision, there will be those who do not understand you, some who are used to the old version of you, the version that was easily controlled, easily made to doubt yourself. When they see you change, they may resist. They may try to pull you back to the old. familiar comfort zone. But my child, stand firm. Do not turn back. Do not compromise. I have not called you to walk halfway. I have called you to step fully into the freedom I have for you. My child, in this process, I will also separate you from certain old relationships, not because you are better than anyone, but because I know what would hinder your progress. There are some who cannot go with you into the new season, not because they are bad, but because their hearts are not yet ready. And if you try to hold on to them, your steps will be slowed. I love them, and I will work in them in my way and in my time. But you are not responsible to carry anyone along with you. Your responsibility is to obey me and to move forward. In this new journey, I will also bring true co-laborers into your life, people who do not envy the light within you, people who do not seek to manipulate or control you, people who will encourage you to go deeper into my will. But in order to recognize them, you must learn to listen to the Holy Spirit. Do not judge merely by outward words. Look at the fruit of their lives. Ask me. I will give you discernment. I will give you peace when you meet the right ones. And when you walk with such people, you will see yourself grow not, shrink back. I know you have traveled a long road. I see the scars within your heart, scars no one else knows of, scars that only you and I are aware of. But I tell you this truth, those scars do not make you weaker. On the contrary, they are marks of victory. They are the proof that you did not fall, that even though you were wounded, you still chose to rise, to keep walking with me. And I am well pleased with you, my beloved child. As you continue to walk steadfastly on this new journey, I also want you to learn another important lesson, the lesson of releasing resentment. I know it is not easy. The old wounds still linger beneath the surface. The words people once spoke, the actions they once took, sometimes return to your mind like sharp blades. At times, you feel that justice has not yet been restored. At times, your heart cries out for an apology, for an acknowledgement. But I tell you the truth, your true freedom does not lie in another person's apology. It lies in the forgiveness you choose to give. When you cling to resentment, you do not bind them, you bind yourself. Each time you allow those memories to replay in your heart, you are permitting those old wounds to bleed once more. But my child, I do not want you to live that way. I have called you into a life of freedom, not one bound by the past, and that can only happen when you choose to forgive, not because the other person deserves it, but because you deserve to live lightly. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting everything. Forgiveness means refusing to let those things control your present and your future. Remember the words Jesus taught, forgive, and you will be forgiven. Forgiveness is a flow. When you open your heart to forgive, you also open the door to receive my grace more fully. And in that flow, you will see your heart being healed little by little. Perhaps today you must forgive for the 10th time, the 100th time, for the same old wound. But do not be discouraged. Each time you do so, the old chains grow weaker. Each time you choose grace over bitterness, your heart becomes softer, more like mine. I also know that at times you feel as if you are losing by letting go of resentment, as if you are letting the other person win, allowing them to escape judgment. But, my child, justice does not rest in your hands. It rests in mine. I am the one who judges righteously. I will bring all things to light in my time and in my way. You do not need to carry the heavy burden of vengeance. Entrust it to me, and when you release it, you will witness something wondrous. You will make room in your heart to receive new joy, new relationships, new blessings. My child, I also remind you that what others have done to you does not have the power to define you. People may have once despised you, belittled you, told you that you were not good enough, not lovable, but that is not the truth. The truth is what I have spoken over you, and I declare that you are loved. You are a wondrous creation. You are the beloved child of the King of Kings. No word of man can change that truth. So, do not let those old words continue to echo in your mindlet. My word be the strongest voice in your heart. I also know another fear that lingers within you, the fear that if you forgive, if you release resentment, you will forget the lesson. You worry that you may be hurt again. But my child, forgiveness does not mean naivety. Forgiveness does not mean allowing others to continue harming you. Forgiveness walks hand in hand with discernment. You can forgive, and at the same time, set healthy boundaries. You can love, but not by allowing yourself to be exploited. I want you to learn how to love in freedom, not in bondage. And in the process, you will see my Spirit teaching you wisdom. You will learn to discern who is truly sent by me to walk alongside you. You will learn to build new relationships on the foundation of mutual respect, transparency, and truth. These relationships will not exhaust you, will not require you to pretend, nor force you to act against your conscience in order to be accepted. And you will come to understand that true love that reflects my heart always brings freedom, not control. As you walk in forgiveness, you are making way for renewal, not only within your soul, but also in the new doors I am about to open for you. For there are blessings that can only come when your heart is wide enough to receive them. If you cling to resentment, your heart will be cramped. But when you let go, when you allow the flow of grace to move through your life, you will behold the new things I have long prepared, waiting for you to step into. My beloved child, as you go deeper into this new season, there is one more thing I long for you to hold firmly in your heart. I do not merely want to heal your old wounds, but to birth within you a heart that dares to hope again. For I know that after loss and pain, your soul can easily withdraw and close itself. Outwardly, you may still smile, still appear strong. Yet deep inside, you may have begun to doubt whether goodness is still meant for you. You quietly ask, will I dare to love again? Can I trust in goodness once more? One day, when your heart has been fully restored, you will be surprised to find that you are no longer afraid to love, no longer trembling when opening your heart to someone, no longer haunted by old wounds. For then, the love within you will no longer be ruled by fear, but will flow from a heart softened by my Spirit. And that love will be pure, strong, free, just like the love I have for you. Believe me, the good things still lie ahead. Healthy relationships are waiting for you. Those who carry my Spirit, those who will love you rightly, who will honor your worth, they are even now being prepared by me. Do not let past experiences cause you to close your heart to the goodness I will bring. Keep your heart tender, so that when I open the door, you will be ready to step through. My child, in this season of waiting, live each day to the fullest. Invest in yourself. Nurture your spiritual life. Allow me to develop within you the gifts and talents I have given. Tend to the garden of your soul, so that when the right time comes and someone enters your life, they will find a heart that is fresh and vibrant, not one withered by fear. Now hear me, for I tell you the truth. I am the one who makes all things new. I will not allow your wounds to become your identity. I will not let your past define the limits of your future. On the contrary, it is in those very places that were once torn, in those parts you thought were dead, that I will breathe life again through my power, not by your own strength, but by my unchanging grace and love. And I say this so you will know, you will love again, you will trust again, you will hope again, not by forcing it, but naturally, as my spirit softens your heart once more. I do not want you to live in defense. I do not want you to build walls around your heart. I did not create you to live in suspicion and fear. Of course, I teach you to have discernment and to establish healthy boundaries, but discernment does not mean closing off. Setting boundaries does not mean slamming shut the doors of your heart. I desire for you to be free to love in a healthy way, to give of yourself fully, while also guarding your purity and inner peace. My child, I know that there are old memories that still make you hesitant. Sometimes you recall the times when you gave your heart completely, only to be met with betrayal. Sometimes you remember shattered dreams, promises that were not kept, and in those moments, fear rises again. What if I get hurt once more? But my child, I tell you this truth, you are no longer walking alone. In the past, you may have loved with your own strength, chosen relationships based on emotions. But now, I desire to guide each of your steps. When you allow me to lead, I will keep you from hidden snares. I will grant you peace when you are with the right person, and even when trials come, I will not let you bear them alone. My child, give me room to do a new work in your heart. Do not rush. Do not force yourself to be normal again immediately. Healing is a day-by-day journey. I am patient with you. I do not require you to quickly love someone just to prove that you are healed. What I long for is for you to learn again how to delight in me, how to walk in peace, unpressured by anyone's expectations. And my child, I also remind you of this. Do not compare your journey to others. Some may move on faster. Some may already be in new relationships. But child, your timing is in my hands. Do not let comparison weigh your heart down. Rest in the process I am doing in you. Each person has their own path, their own rhythm in the journey of growth. What matters is that you are moving in the right direction, allowing me to lead. One day, when your heart is fully restored, you will be amazed to find that you are no longer afraid to love, no longer trembling when opening your heart to someone, no longer haunted by old wounds. For by then, the love within you will no longer be governed by fear, but will flow from a heart softened by the Holy Spirit. And that love will be pure, strong, free, just like the love I have for you. My child, trust me, good things are still ahead. Healthy relationships await you. People who carry my spirit, people who will love you rightly and respect your worth, these are ones I am preparing even now. Do not let past experiences cause you to shut your heart against the good things I will bring. Keep your heart tender, so that when I open the door, you will be ready to step in. My beloved, when you have bravely walked through the season of healing, when you have learned to release resentment and embrace the new. Now I desire to bring you into a deeper level of fellowship with me. This is a season of sanctification, of learning to walk with sensitivity to the Holy Spirit. For I do not simply want you healed and then returning to life as before. No, my child, I want you to be completely transformed, so that your life becomes a flowing stream of life for others. But for this to happen, you must learn something very important, to listen to me in the smallest of details. Not only in big things like choosing a job, a place to live, or a spouse, but also in every daily conversation, in how you treat others, in how you manage your time, in decisions that may seem insignificant. I want to be your true companion, not someone you only turn to in crisis, but the one who walks with you in every moment. Do you remember? It is written in the Scriptures, "In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths." Proverbs 3-6. This is not merely a piece of wise advice, it is a promise. When you learn to acknowledge me in every step, in every decision, I will lead you along paths of peace and fruitfulness. I will help you avoid subtle snares. I will give you discernment to recognize what is from me and what is not. In order to hear me clearly, you must cultivate a lifestyle that allows space for stillness. How noisy the world is today. Voices from social media, from friends, from experts, from personal experiences, all strive to fill your mind. If you do not intentionally create room within your heart, it will be difficult to hear my gentle whisper. That is why I am calling you into a new rhythm of life, a rhythm that includes stillness with me. Moments of quiet where your heart can be aligned. Do not fear the silence. My child, in that silence, I will fill you with my presence. I will calm the inner clamor. I will help you distinguish between my voice, the voice of self, and the voice of the enemy. And as you walk with that sharpened sensitivity, you will be amazed at how much more effective and lighter your life will become. Things that once confused you will become clear. You will see which relationships to keep and which to release, illuminated by my guidance. I will show you which doors should be opened and which should be closed. I also want you to understand that spiritual sensitivity is not reserved only for those of high rank in my kingdom. No, it is the privilege and calling of every one of my children, including you. I have placed my Spirit within you to lead you. Be bold in stepping into this intimate relationship. Do not think that you are not spiritual enough to hear me. Do not allow the enemy to sow doubt in your heart that only special people can hear my voice. You are my child. And just as a father speaks to his child, I too desire to speak to you each day. But my child, this sensitivity only develops as you cultivate your relationship with me regularly. There are no shortcuts. There is no quick secret. It is the fruit of a life consistently abiding in me through prayer, through meditating on my word, through practicing daily obedience. Each time you choose to spend time with me, each time you choose obedience, even when it is hard, your spiritual ears are opened a little more, and gradually you will find yourself hearing me as naturally as breathing. One more thing I want to remind you. My child, as you step into this new sensitivity, you will begin to perceive things that others do not yet see. You may sense spiritual atmospheres. You may discern hidden motives behind someone's words. You may see things that no one else has yet perceived. Do not be afraid of this, and do not become prideful about it. Humbly treasure it in your heart, and continue to seek my guidance on how to respond. Sometimes I will show you things so that you may intercede. Sometimes I will show you so that you may guard yourself. Sometimes I will show you so that you may prepare for an upcoming change. Do not be quick to share everything you receive. Learn discretion. Learn to listen to me regarding the timing and manner of expressing it. A person mature in the spirit is not one who speaks much about what they have received, but one who remains faithful and humble in their heart. My child, as you live in this sensitivity, your life will become a conduit of life for others. The words you speak will build up. Your presence will bring peace. Even your smallest actions will bear the mark of the Spirit. And through your life, many will be drawn to Menno because of any great thing you have done, but because they will see in you something different, the mark of a life in close companionship with me. My beloved child, now that you have gradually learned how to listen to my voice in every detail of life, I want to invite you to go deeper into another dimension of your spiritual journey, learning to walk in immediate obedience. For, my child, there are many who hear my voice, but not everyone chooses to obey quickly and wholeheartedly. I am calling you to be one who not only hears but also acts swiftly, not because I desire to control you, but because I know that only when you obey fully can you step into all the goodness I have prepared for you. Do you remember? When Abraham was called by me to leave his homeland and his father's house, he did not hesitate or waver, even though he did not know where he was going. He stepped out by faith, and it was through that obedience that he became the father of a great nation. My child, that principle has not changed. Every time you obey me, you open the door to new blessings in your life. Every time you choose to obey, you are partnering with me to accomplish my heavenly will on earth. I also know that obedience is not always easy. Sometimes I will call you to let go of things you hold dear. Sometimes I will lead you down a path that few choose. Sometimes I will ask you to speak the truth, even if it may cost you the approval of others. And in those moments, you will be tested. Your heart will be examined. Do you love me more than your own comfort? Do you trust me enough to release what you once thought was important? Remember, whenever I ask you to release something, it is not because I want to harm you. On the contrary, I see ahead to what your eyes cannot yet see. I know what will bring lasting growth to you. You may not understand it now, but as you choose to obey, you will gradually see the wisdom in what I am doing. And the sweetness is this: with every act of obedience, the relationship between you and me will grow deeper. Your trust in me will increase. Your spiritual sensitivity will be sharpened. My child, I also want you to understand that your obedience does not affect you alone. There are others waiting to be blessed through your obedience. There are doors for others that will only open when you follow my leading. I am weaving a tapestry much greater than you can imagine. Every time you obey, you are contributing to that masterpiece. This is why I call you to learn to obey immediately, without delay. My child, one of the enemy's greatest traps is to cause you to delay obedience. He does not tell you to refuse. He simply whispers, "You can do it tomorrow," but each time you delay, you miss the divine timing. There are opportunities I have prepared that appear only at a specific moment. If you do not step in at the right time, you will miss what I have set in place. That is why I am teaching you. Cultivate a heart that is quick to obey. When my Spirit prompts you, Respond at once. I know you may feel afraid. What if I obey, and the outcome is not what I hoped for? But my child, remember this. Your part is to obey, and my part is to be responsible for the outcome. You do not need to control the results. You simply need to be faithful in your steps. And I promise you this, as you walk in obedience, I will sovereignly work all things for your good, even when the immediate result seems contrary. I am working behind the scenes. No act of obedience is ever in vain. My child, obedience is also the key that unlocks deeper dimensions of revelation. I do not dispense revelation indiscriminately. I reveal more to those who are faithful in living out what has already been shown to them. When you are faithful in obeying, even in small matters, I will entrust you with greater things, and when that happens, you will enter into a cycle of growth. Obedience leads to deeper revelation, which in turn leads to greater obedience. And through this, you will experience greater things in me. Do you know this? My child, every act of obedience is like another brick I lay in the foundation of your spiritual life. Each time you say yes to me, whether it costs you comfort or requires you to surrender your personal desires, it is another moment in which I am shaping your spirit to reflect more of my image. And it is precisely in these moments that you will experience an unshakable stability, because you will know that you are standing upon a foundation that cannot be moved, my living presence and my spoken word. My child, in this refining process, there will be times when it feels as though you are walking through the fire. There will be times when the things you once clung to are taken away. There will be times when those you once trusted no longer walk with you. But do not be dismayed. Do not think that I have abandoned you. No, my beloved one, it is I who am using these very circumstances to cleanse you, to separate you from things that would no longer serve you well in the new path I have prepared for you. Just as gold is refined by fire, so too will your heart be purified, and my holiness will permeate every aspect of your being more deeply. I know there will be days when you feel lonely because others do not understand the path you are walking. There will be moments when you ask yourself, why must I give this up? When others do not? But my child, the calling upon your life is not the same as that of others. The path you walk is one I have uniquely set apart for you. What others may be permitted to retain, you may be required to release, because I am calling you to a deeper place. But I promise you this, your reward will not come from the hands of people, but from me alone, and I am one who is never indebted to anyone. In order to carry this power safely, and for my name to be glorified through it, you must possess a humble and pure heart. This is why I refine not only your outward behavior, but also the deepest motives of your heart. I want you to understand this clearly. Spiritual power is not a mark of superiority, but a mark of surrender. The more one surrenders to me, the more I can entrust to them, and the more one walks in humility, the more they will be able to carry that power without falling into the traps of pride or selfish ambition. My child, I also remind you of this, as the spiritual power upon your life increases, so too will spiritual attacks increase. The enemy will not remain passive as you become a threat to the kingdom of darkness. It will seek to wear you down, to sow doubt, or to lure you into temptation. But do not fear. I have already equipped you with every spiritual weapon you need. If you remain closely connected to Mife, you do not neglect time in my word and in prayer, you will stand firm against every scheme of the enemy. Remember this, my child, power is not the ultimate goal. Love is the ultimate goal. I have not called you to become a person of great power, but to become one who loves as I love. Every gift, every manifestation of the Spirit must operate through love. Without love, all these things are nothing but empty noise. Therefore, whenever you find yourself entrusted with new revelations or new workings of the Spirit, always return to this question of the heart: am I loving as He loves? Am I walking in humility and honoring others? Am I seeking glory for myself? Offer Him, my beloved child. As you have walked through a season of refining and have been granted spiritual maturity by me, I now call you into a new season, the season of being sent. This is no longer the time for merely receiving and preparing. This is the moment for you to begin stepping out, to become light in the world, to be salt upon the earth. Everything I have sown into your heart throughout the past season, the teachings, the healings, the lessons of obedience and spiritual sensitivity, was never meant to be kept for yourself alone, but for you to become a stream of life flowing to those around you. Do you remember how, after Jesus had trained His disciples, He did not keep them with Him forever? There came a day when He sent them out, 2 by 2, to preach the gospel, to heal the sick, and to set the oppressed free. In the same way, I did not create you to live a life hidden in personal safety. I am calling you to step out of your comfort zone, to bring my love and life to places where they are most needed. I know this may sound daunting. You may feel that you are not strong enough, not fully prepared. But remember this: I do not call those who are already ready. I make those whom I call ready. Your strength is not found in what you hold in your hands, but in my presence with you. When I send you, I also bestow grace and power for you to accomplish what I have purposed. You may think, who am I to change the world around me? But my child, you are not called to change the world by your own strength. You are called to be an instrument in my hand, that I might work through you. When you simply obey, when you dare to love, to intercede, to speak the truth, I will use that very simple obedience to bring forth an impact greater than you can imagine. Do not underestimate the power of small actions born from a heart of obedience. My child, in this season of sending, I will bring new people into your life. Some I will send for you to build up and encourage. Some I will bring to teach you further. And some will come that you might inspire them and bear witness to my love. Open your heart to receive them. Do not confine yourself within old circles of relationships. This new season requires new connections, aligned with what I am now doing in you. Know this: even as you open your heart, you must also exercise discernment. Not everyone who draws near is sent by me. Not everyone who speaks pleasing words carries pure intentions. Remain spiritually sensitive. Ask me, Lord, should I build a deeper connection with this person? Are they a companion for this season? And I will answer you. Do not be afraid to ask. Do not hesitate to seek my confirmation. I am pleased when you are careful in forming relationships. My child, as you step out to serve others, there will be moments when you face opposition. There will be times when your words are not received. There will be occasions when your loving heart is misunderstood. But do not let these things discourage you. Remember, even Jesus himself, while on earth, was rejected by many, yet he did not allow rejection to hinder his mission. In the same way, I call you to remain steadfast. Do not let praise nor opposition sway your heart. Do all things as unto me, not for the approval of man. And my child, as you serve others, remember that you must first live from the abundance I provide. Do not attempt to give when your vessel is empty. Do not allow yourself to become spiritually exhausted. Continually return to the secret place with me, where you are restored and filled again. I do not desire for you to serve from a place of weariness, but from fullness. A person overflowing with life will naturally pour life into others, but one who is depleted will only impart heaviness. Therefore, keep your fellowship with me fresh and vibrant. My beloved child, I rejoice to see that you are willing to step out, but I also want you to understand that a season of commissioning does not mean you must do great things by human standards. Sometimes, a commissioning is as simple as loving someone who is difficult to love. Sometimes it is interceding for someone in despair. Sometimes it is witnessing to someone in the market or at your workplace. Do not despise the small things. In my kingdom, no act is small when done in obedience. My child, I will lead you step by step. You do not need to plan everything in advance. Learn to live sensitively to my smallest promptings. Each day, ask me, Lord, today, whom can I show your love to? In what way can I obey you today? And as you do this consistently, each small step will lead you into greater things. Do not fear moving slowly. Do not compare yourself to others. I have a unique rhythm for your journey. What matters is not the speed, but faithfulness in every step. And as you remain faithful in the small steps, one day you will look back in amazement at how far you have traveled along the path I have designed for you. My beloved, as you continue to walk in this season of commissioning that I have prepared for you, there is something very important I want you to remember. Always keep a tender and humble heart. Never think that because I am using you, you are somehow greater than others. Never let outward results cause you to lift your head in pride. For, my child, all the goodness that flows from your life is due to my grace and power. None of it comes from your own strength. Do you remember what Jesus taught the disciples after they returned from preaching and performing miracles? They rejoiced that even demons submitted to them. But he said, do not rejoice that the spirits submit to you, but rejoice that your names are written in heaven. What does this mean? My beloved, it means your worth is not found in what you can do for me, but in the fact that you belong to me. Before you are my servant, you are my child, and I love you, not because of what you do, but simply because of who you are. That is why, whether you walk into places filled with crowds or hidden corners, whether you are praised or forgotten, your heart must remain rooted in me. Do not let success make you proud. Do not let failure cause you to lose heart. Walk in humility, knowing that everything you have is by grace. And when you hold to this truth, you will be safe in your commissioning. The enemy will find it difficult to gain a foothold in your heart. My child, I also want you to understand that in this season of commissioning, you will not always see results immediately. Some seeds you sow today will take months, even years, to sprout. Some prayers you lift up may seem hopeless. Yet in reality, I am working in the unseen realm. Therefore, do not measure your faithfulness by what your eyes can see. Do not be discouraged when fruit has not yet appeared. I am the Lord of the harvest. I know when it is time for a tree to blossom and bear fruit. Your part is to remain faithful in sowing. In this season of commissioning, I will also teach you a profound lesson. the lesson of collaboration within the body of Christ. You are not called to do everything alone. I did not design you to be a lone warrior. On the contrary, I created you to live and serve in connection with others in my body. Therefore, humbly learn how to work together. Value the gifts that differ from your own. Do not think that the way I use you is the only right way. Each person I use has a unique role in the greater picture. There are areas where you are strong, but there are also areas where you are weak, and I will bring people whose strengths will complement your weaknesses. Do not compare. Do not envy. Rejoice when others are used by me. When you honor and love your fellow workers, when you celebrate their victories as if they were your own, when you do not seek to elevate yourself, then I will be pleased, and I will open new doors for you. My child, in this season of commissioning, there will be moments when you will face challenges greater than any you have encountered before. It may be fierce spiritual battles. It may be misunderstandings from those you love. It may even be wounds inflicted by your fellow laborers. But do not let these things cause you to retreat. I have promised, when you walk in my commissioning, I will not abandon you. Remember, it is in the darkest moments that my light shines the clearest. Remain watchful. Diligently cultivate your communion with me. Do not allow yourself to become so busy that you forget to spend time alone with me. If you only labor for me but neglect to dwell with me, you will soon find yourself depleted. And when that happens, the work you do will become a burden instead of a joy. But when you continually come to mellowing me to fill you, to renew your spirit, then, no matter how much you labor, you will be renewed with strength like the eagle. My child, I want you to always remember this. In this season of commissioning, love must remain your primary motivation, not duty, not a desire to prove your worth, not fear of my displeasure, but because you love me, and because you love others with my love. If your motives are misplaced, even if you accomplish many things outwardly, your heart will gradually grow cold. But if love is your reason, then even the smallest act will carry the fragrance of heaven. As you continue to walk faithfully in this season of commissioning, there is a deeper thing I long to plant in your heart, a heart that yields to my greater plan. Even when you do not fully understand what is happening around you. You see, many times in your commissioning, you will encounter unexpected turns, unannounced detours, events that defy your understanding. I want you to learn a deeper rest in my sovereign rule. Do you remember the story of Joseph? When I gave him great dreams, he thought they would come to pass quickly. But afterward, he was sold into slavery, falsely accused, and thrown into prison. For years, everything seemed to move in the opposite direction of my promise. Yet Joseph never abandoned his faith in me. And then, in my appointed time, everything was fulfilled in a wondrous way. My child, there are promises I have spoken over your life, but the journey toward them will not always be straight. There will be times when you feel as though you are moving backward, but in truth, I am secretly lifting you higher. In such moments, what matters is not that you understand everything, but that you continue to trust me. A surrendered heart does not demand full understanding before it obeys. A surrendered heart says, Lord, even though I do not understand, I know you are good, and I choose to trust you. It is in this surrender that you will enter a new freedom, freedom from the pressure to control everything, a freedom from anxiety over outcomes, a freedom from the weariness of striving in your own strength. My beloved, I also want you to understand that in this season of commissioning, there will be times when I ask you to sow without seeing an immediate harvest. At times, you will serve someone for years and see no apparent change. At times, you will intercede for a community, yet no breakthrough seems to come. But remember this, success in my eyes is not measured by outward results, but by your faithfulness. If you continue to sow faithfully, in due season I will grant the harvest. And sometimes you will not be the one who reaps. It may be another whom I send after you who will see the fruit. But your reward will not be lost. For I see all that you do in faithfulness. You must also know that there will be seasons when I will lead you into hiddenness. There will be seasons when I do not allow you to be seen or recognized, not because you are not good enough, but because I am building something deeper within you. These hidden seasons are vital, for it is there that I teach you to serve me out of love alone, not for the recognition of others. When you learn this, you will become someone to whom I can entrust great influence without you being swept away by the temptation of pride. My dear child, I also want to remind you that in this season of commissioning, there will be times when I ask you to do things that stretch beyond your familiar boundaries. There may be moments when I lead you to people you never thought you would encounter. I may call you to learn new things and step away from old ways of doing things. Keep a heart that is flexible. Do not confine me within the limits of your past experiences. I am the one who makes all things new. Always keep your heart open to the creativity of the Holy Spirit. When you walk with a tender and teachable heart, I will lead you into fresh revelations, and your life will never be dull or stagnant. Another very important truth I want you to hold fast to is this. In the season of commissioning, humility and mutual edification within the body are essential. Never think that you already know enough. No matter how much experience you have, no matter how powerfully I have used you, there will always be more to learn. Keep the heart of a student. Listen and learn from those I place around you, even from those who are younger or less experienced. For at times I will speak through them the very words I want you to hear. My beloved child, always remember this. The ultimate purpose of your commissioning is not to build a ministry or a reputation for yourself. The highest goal is that I may be glorified and that my love may be spread abroad. If you keep this heart posture, you will always dwell in the safety of my presence, and you will experience the fullness of joy as you see your life become a flowing stream of blessings to many others. My child, even in this very moment, I delight to see you growing along this journey. I see the longing in your heart to live a life pleasing to me, and this brings me the greatest joy. Continue to walk in faithfulness. Do not grow discouraged if the refining process takes longer than you expect. Every drop of sweat, every tear you have shed along this path is remembered by me, and one day you will look back and see not a single thing was wasted. Every trial, every surrender, every act of obedience has been woven into a glorious garment I have prepared especially for you. Thank you for listening to today's message. Please subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that together we can continue receiving the living word, building a strong foundation of faith, and walking in the boundless love of the Lord. Amen.